All right, Reef Tank day 84, 85, and things are definitely heating up a little bit. Now, there's certainly a lot more coral in this tank right now than there has been for most of those 80 days. This past Sunday, my local reef club, Mast, had its fragging demonstration meeting, and that's the club that I used to preside over. And so I added some bird's nest, the trumpet coral, and these Monty caps that are there and there. These were just added yesterday, or excuse me, 2 days ago. So any signs of whiteness is from the mother tank. Now, essentially what they did was they gave us some pretty nice colonies. One of our members sold the club, and we fragged them up. Mike is a really generous guy for doing that. And Mike's tank is so big and his coral colonies are so big that some of them have some death in the colony where, it's just so much coral that it's not all perfectly alive. So I think this colony here might have a little bit of death on the bottom as I got it, whereas this colony here and these frags all look really good. So I've never been able to keep SPS. I've never really given it a solid try. So I'm definitely going to focus on that for this tank. 2 weeks ago, I just added this feather duster and it's looking really cool. It's really, really nice color. Let's see if I can get a side view. And also, about 3 weeks ago, we had our first frag in the tank, which was this mushroom here, which came from all the way over here. And you can see this one already wants to split again, so it's doing very well in this aquarium. Now, additionally, I've also added a piece of rock here in the middle for this pulsing zinnia to hopefully help it grow a little bit better. And I think that will definitely help it out a lot. The mushrooms are doing really good. However, I noticed about a week ago, the fairy dust pallies really started looking bad. And I'm not sure what's going on with them. There's no pests that are on them. I don't know if they're just growing a lot. Something seems to be bothering them, but I just really can't identify it. The hermit crabs and snails don't really seem to mess with them too much, but I've noticed every once in a while for about a week they seem to close up and then they open up again. So hopefully that won't take long. The toadstool is getting huge, and I've noticed that it's starting to get so big that it's starting to tilt over on its side, and you can see it almost is wanting to split itself. So if this splits, that would be really cool. Maybe the tank can begin to maybe pay for itself. I'm doing roughly weekly or bi-weekly, every other week, 4-gallon water changes, and that's helping out a lot. I've been feeding pretty good as well, and you can see the clownfish are still really healthy. The orange one's name is Maverick, and the black one's name is Sundown. I know I talked about that in the last video. It's hard to see here, but the temperature readout is still 78.6, and I never did upgrade the heater to the Pro heater. I'm still very happy with this glass heater, and I can't imagine myself upgrading that anytime soon. In the last video, I think I had a attachment for my filter that was surface skimming attachment, but almost immediately after that video, I junked that thing. It was just a piece of work. And I've since switched to the Odessa surface skimmer. I actually like it a lot. I've used Odessa in the past for lighting many, many years ago. And despite the rumors of fire and this and that, knock on wood to this point, none of the devices I've ever used in the past or even currently have had any issues. They've all worked fantastically. And basically what I do is I take some of the foam blocks that came with this filter, whatever cartridges they use, I cut them into like fifths and then just put them in there. And they keep the surface nice and clean, and I really do like that. So, so yeah, things are looking really good. I'm really happy to finally have some LPS in the aquarium, and I hope that things continue to look as good as they do. Jabo is still working really well. I've just been very happy with the with almost everything about this tank. I also have another small frag. Let me see if I can put the feed mode on. If you look down there, you can see a mushroom. That came from these guys over here, and it's made its way over here. You can also see I'm starting to get coralline, the green and then the pink kind, which is very cool. Marcelo from Max Tanks was nice enough to give me a pretty sizable few, I guess you'd say like seed rocks when you set up the tank, and so those are doing really good. And you can see the amount of water movement here from the Odessa. It's actually really good. I'm really happy with this thing, and it creates a nice flow for this tank. Now, I did also win my first contest ever, I think, and it was a customer appreciation giveaway by Reef. And you can see I won a mushroom box. This is the nano size, and this is really exciting. They're a wonderful company. I've done business with Tuan for many years, and I think there was like 300 people that entered, and he chose like, it was like 5 or 6 people with a random number generator, and I was fortunate enough to be chosen. So at some point, I'm gonna take that mushroom and put it in this box if it doesn't attach. And if I do, I'll definitely be sure to update it. And but yeah, so I want to thank Tuan and the team over at Reef for that. That's very generous of them. I've also modified the AI Prime. Let's see if I can turn on some light. But I took off the grill that was on this. It was really annoying, and it kept just making a ton of noise. And I certainly didn't do it the best way, but I just basically got pliers and pulled the grill out from the top. And I kind of messed up the plastic a little bit here, but you know, it's dead silent. The fan has 0 issues. I've had 0 temperature shut-off since doing that, and I'm able to run the lights as high as I want them. So very happy with that. Now in the AquaClear 70, you can see I finally have some Chaeto growing back there. And this is my first fuge. So I'm actually going to be doing some research tonight. Mike, the guy again with the corals that he donated to the club, gave me this sizable amount of Chaeto. So I'm almost thinking it might be too much, because I think not a lot of it is able to get light. But I'm going to do some research, and you can see a nice, maybe a copepod in there. That's crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna potentially prune this to allow more of it to get light. And but yeah, I need to do some research on that. There's not any sand or mud in this refugium, but you know, I'm pretty happy with it. The flow seems pretty gentle, and the next thing I want to do is our club frag swap is May 12th, Elmar. It's a really good swap. I used to host it, and with that frag swap, what I really would like to do is basically Reef is a really cool vendor that comes down there. They sell copepods and amphipods and all these kind of things. I'm gonna buy some of those from him and seed this refugium with some of those guys. So that's the next thing that I want to do. I'll put some links for Reef and Reef in the description as well for the Elmar swap. Those are all really cool things. So, but yeah, so this is kind of how the tank is doing. You know, I certainly made several attempts to update between now and February, but none of them just seemed really that substantial. You know, the tank has kind of just been on autopilot. You know, I've had the same 3 corals up until 2 days ago. And now that I have some corals and a new invert, you know, I definitely want to be updating more. Now, with the cleanup crew, I'm still seeing some molting going on with the crabs, and I'm still subscribing to the theory that it is molting because, like I mentioned before, I haven't really seen a significant decrease in the number of crabs that come out, and I know they can't be breeding that fast and growing to size that fast, so I guess they seem to like it. Hopefully it's not that they're too stressed. I've noticed a few snails that have passed, you know, not a staggering number, but you know, my system doesn't really have that much algae growing in it, you know, maybe just a little bit, and so maybe there's just too much competition for the food resource. But you know, I guess it is what it is. That's unfortunate, but you know, I bought a cleanup crew that I think would fit the size of the tank and the amount that I feed. But yeah, I'm very happy. I'm just shocked that, you know, we got coralline growing so fast. I've already had to pick it off the glass a few times, and it's certainly not as fun as I remember it being. But this is good stuff, so I'm really happy with this. So I'll update soon if I make any changes in the refugium. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you got some entertainment out of seeing how my tank is developing. I'm very happy with it. And shout out to Mast, and shout out to Mike for all the corals and the microalgae. I really appreciate it. And let's do one shot close up of everything real quick before the video goes off. So yeah, hopefully by the next time I update, these corals are doing a little bit better, and hopefully everything is still alive. That would be fantastic if I'm able to keep these SPS alive. It's been several attempts to keep SPS in my old reef, and I was never able to do it. So, you know, I'm feeling good about this third time. So maybe the third time's the charm. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next update.